Hello viewers, welcome back to the Azure services demo. So in this demo, I want to create a private Kubernetes service and I'll show how to communicate with the Kubernetes service using a Azure virtual machine. Let's go create a virtual network. So I'll go to search bar and type virtual network. This is the virtual network service. After that, I will go and create a virtual network. Here I will fill up all the required fields. First is the subscription. It is free trial. Next is resource group. I will create a resource group. Suppose demo virtual network 1, 2, 3. Next is instance details. So virtual network name. So virtual network name I will give demo virtual network, suppose VNet. Okay. Next is the region. So I will select Central India and then go to next. In the security section, we have virtual network encryption. So we can encrypt the virtual network. Currently, I am not selecting that. Then Azure Bastion. So we can deploy Azure Bastion so that we can securely connect to the Azure virtual machine from the browser. So for that purpose, we need the Azure Bastion. Currently, I am not going to enable that. Then it is Azure Firewall, that is also not required now, and DDoS protection. So DDoS is also not required. So in the production, we can enable these features. Then I will go to next. Then here are the IP addresses. So these many IP addresses can be allocated to the virtual machine, and there will be one default subnet. So there will be 256 IP addresses in that subnet. We can add more subnet if we want. Currently, I will go with one subnet. Then go to next, and we can give some tags like environment, date. Then I'll go to review and create. Then next is create. We can see this deployment is in progress. Yeah, so resource got deployed. Let's go to the resource. If we go to the VNet, we can see there are subnets. So only one subnet is available. If we click on the subnet, we can see the settings. We can edit this subnet. So include IPv4 address space. Then after that, include IPv4 address space. Then private subnet. So you can see it is private subnet. So this will be private subnet. There will be no network. This subnet. We don't have access to the internet. It is necessary to explicitly grant outbound access, or we can create a net gateway to give internet access to the virtual machines deployed inside this subnet. So we don't have any internet connectivity in this subnet. Let's go and save. I will open another terminal, and there we'll go and create a Kubernetes cluster. Let's search for Kubernetes. So you can see this is a Kubernetes service. Here I will go and create a Kubernetes cluster. So I'll go with this free trial, then resource group. We can create a resource group, suppose AKS 1, 2, 3. Then next, the cluster preset configurations. We have these options: production standard, dev test, production economy, then production enterprise. So we can select one from these options. I'll go with dev test, then Kubernetes cluster name, private to cluster suppose, then region, Central India is the region for me. You can select any of your choice. Then availability zone, we can select. Let me select zone 1. Then AKS pricing tier, we have free, standard and premium. I'm going with free tier. Next is the Kubernetes version. We have 1.28.9, which by default it is selected. We can select any of the following. I'll go with the default. Next, the automatic upgrade. We can enable these options, enable with patch, enable with stable. So I already have discussed this in my previous video. I'll go with this recommended one. Then automatic upgrade scheduler, I'll go with default. Then node security channel type, this we can go with these options, non, unmanaged and node image. So this is for like security updates. So all our worker nodes will get updated for security patches. I'm going with node image and then security channel scheduler every week on Sunday, or you can go for custom and no schedule. I'm going with the default. Then authentication and authorization, there are 3 options. I will go with the local accounts in Kubernetes RBAC. Then I will go to next. Here we have node polls. Let's go and update it. So I will update the number of minimum node count to 1 and maximum node count also 1, because in free tier we have only 4 vCPU. So I need to use 2 vCPUs for virtual machine and 2 vCPU for the worker node. Next, maximum pods per node 110. Let's go with 30. After that, labels and taints. I will not give any taints to the node. We have only one node. Let's update it and go to next. Here in the networking, we can enable the private cluster. After that, public access automatically it will be disabled. Then container networking, Kubernetes and Azure CNI. I'll go with Azure CNI. Then here we can see the bring your own virtual network. So I'll select this one and I'll select the virtual network. This is the virtual network that we have created. Then next is Kubernetes service address range. I will update it to 10.2.0.0/16, and in Kubernetes DNS service IP address also I will update this to 10.2.0.10. Then DNS name prefix, this is by default populating, it's okay for us. Next, the networking policy, I will go with none. Then load balancer standard will be fine for me. I think all selections are good. I'll go to the next. Here integrations, we can do integrations for container registry, Azure policy, service mesh, then Azure policy. I'll go with this default. I am not using this now. I'll go to the next. The next is monitoring. I am not enabling monitoring for this cluster now. Let's go to the advanced and then go to tags. We can give some tags like environment, then div, suppose. Let's go to review and create. You can see the validation is in progress. Okay, the template looks valid. Let's go and create the cluster. Okay, deployment is in progress. So this cluster will be created inside the virtual network that we have created. So this will take 2-3 minutes. I will go to another one tab and create a virtual machine. So I will go to the search bar and type virtual machine. So you can see this is the virtual machines. I will go to create, then select Azure virtual machines. So I will create this virtual machine in the VNet that we have selected, and then go to the resource group. You can create a resource group or use the same that I have created. AKS 1234 is my resource group where the cluster is available. Now instance details, I will give a instance details like to connect instance, suppose. Next is region, so I will go with the central India, then availability zones. So zone 1 is selected. Next is security type, trusted launch virtual machines. Next the image, I will go with Ubuntu server only. Then size is v1s will be fine. Then next is the authentication type, I will go with password, and password then retype the password. And after that, inbound port rules, so SSH to port number 22 for SSH. Now I'll go to next. This is the disk, so OS disk size 30 will be fine. So I'll go with these defaults. I'll go to the networking. Then here I will select a virtual network that we are using for the Kubernetes cluster. So this is the virtual network that we have created. I'll select that one, and subnet by default it is selected. Then public IP, we need a public IP. Then NIC networking security group, I will go with basic. Then public inbound ports, so I select inbound ports SSH22, so that we can SSH to the virtual machine. So I can select delete public IP and NIC when VM is deleted. Let's select this one. Then load balancing, so load balancing options, we can go with none. Azure load balancer, application gateway, I will go with none. Then after that I will go to management. So identity not required for now. Enter ID is also not required. Auto shutdown, backup, we don't have to select this. Let's go to the monitoring. I will not enable monitoring for now, and then go to advanced. After that, we can configure our virtual machine using this custom data and then user data. After that, we can go to tags. We can provide tags. I will not use any tag. Next is review and create. Now we can create the virtual machine. Okay, deployment is in progress. Let's wait for 2-3 minutes. So virtual machine got created. Let's go to the resource and try to connect to the virtual machine. So I'll go to connect and then connect. So we have this public IP address. Let's copy this public IP address and go to the mobile extreme and go to access. Then paste the IP and then click OK. So enter the username, then password, then enter. You can see we can connect to the virtual machine. So next what we have to do, Clear the screen. Let's make the font a little bigger. Yeah. Now we have to install kubectl to communicate to the Kubernetes cluster. Let's snap install kubectl and enter. Okay, we have to pass a -n classic flag with this. So kubectl is getting installed now. So kubectl got installed. Let's go to our cluster and go to the connect. Then get this run commands. I'll go to here, clear the screen, and paste. So we need to install Azure CLI as well. So sudo apt install Azure CLI. So let's update sudo apt update. Sorry, sudo apt update. Okay, let's install Azure CLI. Sudo apt install Azure CLI. Then yes. So Azure CLI got installed. Let's clear the screen and I'll go to the Kubernetes cluster and get these commands. Let's get this Azure account set command, then run it here. So it is saying the subscription does not exist. Let's do it as a login. So after that I'll copy this URL and go to the browser and paste. Here it asks for the code. So this is the code. We can go to the browser and insert the code, then go to next. I'll select the subscription. Okay, next is continue. Okay, so you can see I could able to connect to the subscription. Let's run the previous command Azure account set. So it will set the account for this subscription. Let's go to the cluster again and get this command and run. So it will update the kubeconfig file. Next I will go to this sample commands and run. First clear the screen, then run this command. So you can see kube system ports are running. Then kubectl get service. Next we can do a kubectl get all namespaces, and we will get all the resources that is deployed in the Kubernetes cluster. So these are the resources currently running in the Kubernetes cluster. So that's how we can communicate with a Kubernetes cluster that is deployed in the private subnets of a virtual network. So that's what I wanted to show in this video. Do like, subscribe and share the video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.